Day 95, verses 8 and 9, Seeing Beyond Preferences. Namaste and welcome to Gita 360. Yesterday, the Gita explained that our mind can become either our greatest ally or our greatest obstacle. A disciplined mind becomes a friend, while an undisciplined mind can become a source of struggle. Today, the Gita expands on what happens when a person befriends their mind. It describes an individual who has reached genuine internal stability. A yogi whose mind is satisfied with spiritual knowledge and realization, who is unwavering, who has mastered the senses, and to whom a clod of earth, a stone, and gold are the same, is said to be self aligned. The Gita begins this verse by describing a person who is satisfied in both jnana and vijnana. Jnana refers to knowledge and understanding. Vijnana refers to knowledge that has become a part of one's lived experience. The distinction is important. It is possible to understand an idea intellectually and yet continue to live as though we have never encountered it. We may know that possessions do not guarantee happiness, that praise and criticism are temporary, or that circumstances are always changing. Yet, when life tests us, we often discover that our reactions have not caught up with our understanding. True stability appears when understanding begins to shape the way we see and respond to life. The Gita uses a striking example. The yogis regard dirt, stones, and gold as equal. This does not mean that the yogi is unable to distinguish between them. For an ordinary person, the mind reacts very differently to each. We become excited by what we consider valuable and indifferent to what we consider ordinary. The object itself remains unchanged, but our perception of it changes dramatically. But the yogi sees these differences without becoming controlled by them. The presence of something desirable does not create agitation, attachment, or a sense of incompleteness. The mind remains balanced regardless of what stands before it. A person is considered to be distinguished among humans when they look with impartial intellect upon well-wishers, friends, enemies, the indifferent, mediators, the hateful, relatives, and even the righteous and the unrighteous. The Gita now extends the same principle from objects to the tougher testing ground of human relationships. It speaks of friends and enemies, relatives and strangers, those who wish us well and those who oppose us. It even includes the virtuous and the sinful. These are distinctions that shape the way we think and behave. We find it easier to overlook the faults of those we like and easier to focus on the faults of those we dislike. Our judgment is often influenced by personal preference. The yogi is different. Their judgment is no longer clouded by attachment, prejudice, or aversion. They are able to see people more clearly because the mind remains balanced regardless of who stands before them. Just as gold does not create excitement and a stone does not create indifference, a friend does not create blind attachment and an enemy does not create blind hostility. The yogi responds to people as they are rather than through the lens of personal likes and dislikes. A lot of our experience of life is shaped by the meanings we attach to things. A promotion may be seen as life-changing. A criticism may feel deeply personal. A compliment from one person may stay with us for days, while the same words from someone else barely register. The same pattern appears in our relationships. We feel closer to some people than others. We trust certain opinions more readily. We are more willing to forgive some mistakes than others. Without realizing it, our likes and dislikes often influence the way we see. This is what the Gita invites us to examine. The problem is not that differences exist. People have different qualities, different intentions and different roles in our lives. The challenge begins when our preferences prevent us from seeing clearly. The yogi's equanimity is not a refusal to acknowledge differences, it is the ability to see beyond them. They respond to situations as they are, rather than as their preferences tell them to. Perhaps this is why the Gita places equal vision at the heart of yoga. A mind that is constantly reacting to its likes and dislikes can never be fully steady. But a mind that sees clearly is no longer controlled by them. Thought of the day. Our likes and dislikes often influence how we see people, situations, and opportunities. Pause for a moment today and reflect. Am I responding to what is actually in front of me or to the preference I've attached to it? Thank you for joining me on Gita 360. May we become a little more aware of the preferences through which we see the world and a little more willing to see things as they truly are.